I want to do a quick high five to you for doing this today.
I'll tell you what, this experience with you has truly re-energized me. People come into your life for a reason. I have stepped away from many things in life for different reasons. And the timing, our conversation is just absolutely perfect. And I'm very grateful.
You know, when we think about some of like group fitness and Les Mills history and just group fitness history for that matter, are there people that are lesser known heroes in the background that have shaped you, have influenced you in some way? Maybe their names have fallen off from what we talk about these days, but that you wish newer generations of fitness instructors knew?
Depending on how long instructors have been teaching, some of these names may be familiar. But when I think about it too, there's so many new instructors and it's so wonderful, you know, that so many instructors, especially young too, are coming into this. I mean, some of the greats, which to me would be a given, would be Emma Barry, who was a creative director for Les Mills. But I even think about new instructors coming in to this experience. They may have not heard of Emma, right? And she's just a powerful force and, in this world. And I met her at our boot camp. And I just remember even seeing her with this presence, so there's like the fear of God and having to present in front of somebody like that. And then, but then ending up being on stage with her and presenting with her. And then there's a man named Pete Manuel, who is one of the original Les Mills, I would say, founders and trainers. And he was our lead trainer when I did my first training on board for Body Pump. We were catapulted into being trainers quickly, as long as we were ready. I remember sitting with Pete, and here are two other names of people who, again, some may know and not, but Heather Bedell. She is used to be RPM and Body Pump, and Megan Peterson. Kim Blake I mentioned, and she's one of the first. And I also think of Maureen Baker and Susan Trainor as key role models in my Les Mills journey. And then there's just a lot of what I would refer to as like also silent heroes for me as well. And a lot of that to some of our newer, when I say newer trainers after me, Carrie Ball, Daisy D, Kurt Gestelin.
Yes.
And he's my brother from another mother completely. Youssef. Yes, he was actually my first Body Pump program coach, and I was scared to death of him.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. He has an intense presence too.
He does. And we ended up being, presenting flow together a lot. And Karen Terrell, who's still on our team. And then, of course, one of my best friends, Amanda Scales.
The unicorn herself.
The unicorn herself. Yep. She gave me wings to be on my shoes when I would take body step. Yep.
Oh, I think in some past life, you both were absolutely sisters or some kind of like fusion of the same person. You two are two peas in a pod.
I think the other thing is these are instructors, is my mentors, which was my first group fitness manager in Greensboro, Jennifer Sullivan. And I'm surrounded by inspirational people. There's just all these people that have been, instrumental in my development.
That's a great reminder too, that it's not just one person or one educator that you get everything from, right? Mm-hmm. Like in life, whether it's friendships or romantic relationships or anything, there's so many different people that teach you different lessons, and you are the sum of those experiences and those lessons learned, as long as you continue to live in your truth, and also to share those along with other people, because you never know what puzzle piece you are in someone's grand picture.
And I would be remorse for also not mentioning two people who are no longer on this earth with us, that are with me all the time. Adam Bramsky, he was a trainee at Virginia Tech, one of his first ones. So I was one of his mentors, and we had a blast. But he's with me all the time. And Misty Oglesby at the time, we roomed together in New Zealand when I filmed Body Vibe, and she's always been, with me in different ways. Yeah.
It's so special. And it's special how who they are lives on in so many people, and that they are still with us. Is there any funny or strange occurrence that you've ever had during your time training fitness instructors that you've rarely shared or experienced that you'd love to share? I know you have many.
So one of them from a teaching experience, was when I was teaching body flow, body balance. There was a woman who I got to know a little bit because of her personality, right? And I'm going to give you just a frame of reference here. The club had moved from a freestyle club to Les Mills. And when I met her and asked her if she was staying for body pump, she looked at me and she said, with these eyes, she's like, yeah, definitely. She goes, it's like it gets in your blood. And I was like, oh, awesome. And then I walked away going, all right. I go, wait, that's fitness magic, which is performance. I was like, that's like, she feels it. It's the feels. So why I bring her up, even though I'm going to share, sharing the body flow experience, is it was a large stage, very large room. And I was delivering a meditation, and even going off of the Les Mills suggestions of the script. And it was about loving yourself, self-love. But it was finding that, authentic way of bringing that message across. It was along the lines of thanking yourself for being here today. And then I paused, as you're supposed to, let it sink in. And I hear from the back of the room, in a very dark room, no, thank you. And I was like, oh my God, someone just talked back to me meditation. That was one of the fun, that's the funniest. Now, there are some instructors out there that know that. Another side note, which you will appreciate, is, body pump, initially the colors were straight up red and black. You're a body pumper, your original body pumper. You not only bleed red, but you bleed black and red. Okay.
Yes.
So when I would be doing the checklist of everything regarding certifications, I said, you don't have to wear Les Mills branding, but red and black. I said, at least black. I said, again, that authenticity. And I would say it all the time. I said, because if not, I said, if I find out that, an assessor shares with me that you're wearing purple and pump, I'm like, okay. And especially North Carolina instructors, I would be like, I'm going to come to your club, or I'm going to, knock on your door and say, what is this? Right. So we could do a little joke. Then the new line of clothing came out, and there was pink in body pump. So I'm like, eating my word. So that was fun.
I remember that moment too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's like,
you're like, what is this?
Eating my word. Eating my word. This is a story that not many people know. This was about 2018, 2019. It was, I think, one of the strongest I had ever been in my life, right? And was in a body pump training in Charlotte. One of my members from Greensboro, she was in the training. It's one of those instructors turned trainer, and such a great group of people. I had done a body pump aim one on the Friday, and then there was a body pump training. And then in the middle of the night, on Saturday night, I had incredible pain. I should have gone to the emergency room. On day 2, I was in the middle of having an appendicitis.
Oh my gosh.
In body pump. So I went from being, again, strong, just walking through the gym with purpose, to the next day being doubled over, not knowing what was happening. And I remember thinking, okay, if you can just get through day 2, part of it, even if you need to modify a little, Like, get through it. These instructors are there. They've made this time.
Oh.
I was doubled over. We finished a little early. Thank God I was in Charlotte. I drove to Greensboro.
Oh,
And the
no.
next day I go to the doctor. I get, the whole scan, and the doctor says to me, Susan, I'm really glad you, got those tests, because you need to walk across the street and go get your appendix out. So I was day 2 of a body pump training having an appendicitis.
Oh
But
my gosh, Susan.
they walked out. They were certified, getting certified, and I did it.
Have long discussions about performance and connection, and you're just doubled over in the corner. Heard it here first, dear listener. No one works harder than Susan Laney.
Well,
And you can't complain. If you're tired, at least you don't have an appendicitis. I hate when people ask, like, what's your legacy? I don't know. I got a lot left to do, you know? But when you think about that big to-do list, whether it's fitness, whether it's just stuff you're interested in right now, what else is on the horizon for Susan?
Thinking about where I am with my age and experiences, it's I've been really in a place in life where I'm like, what's next? Really, where we are in our world, I could have only lived half of my life. And one thing I would absolutely love to do is to continue my yoga teacher training. I am a 200 RYT, and that was an incredible experience, but want to further my education with that. That's personal responsibility to do that. But I also want to teach in like a real yoga studio, right? Like a boutique studio that has that feel. So that's one thing. I want to take dance lessons. I did go through Shabam training many years ago. Taught one class and that was it. Considering ballroom dancing.
Nice.
Maybe even silks, though that requires so much core strength and flexibility that I'm still needing to develop. I'd even thought about taking pole dancing classes.
Yes.
And so that's from dancing, because that would be wonderful. Energy healing and somatic classes. Thinking about exploring something like that, but also being able to travel. The traveling that I did with work, I barely saw anything. It's like, oh, you're going here. That's so exciting. But I really would love to see the world. Iceland, Greece, Australia, the Amalfi Coast, and in the Netherlands, because I'm a half Dutch, and my father was from Holland. I want to spend more time, different time with the boys.
Yeah.
Because they're at such different stages in life, and, whether it be just time with them or whatever they decide to do. And whenever I become a grandma, it's just, to be able to just soak up that experience. There's 2 things I really want to do. One, I haven't really done before, is to be involved in an organization that I can volunteer. I've had an opportunity to work with some seniors over my last couple of years of some of my experiences, and whether it be, at a retirement facility, but to be able to share the gift of either joy or movement or meditation, but also to work with young adults, especially females. And I believe I have a new opportunity with a women's group that I'd be able to do something. So that, aspect to be able to volunteer. The other is this is like one of those big, hairy, audacious goals. Unless it would take a lot, but I would love to present again at a fitness conference. And that would be, something along the lines of idea. And, I've been thinking, what could I do? Right. So obviously I have to become a CEC provider again. And, but what would I do? And it may not happen, but it's nice to have the goals.
Yes.
And then lastly, I'm going to add one thing on, because there's a lot I still want to do, Judson. I've always wanted to be, either create a YouTube channel with meditation, right? Or, Insight Timer is an app that I use all the time for meditation, is to, be a part of something like that.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I can totally, maybe there's a collaboration with your son to compose music for meditation, and then you lead it.
Yes.
Just saying.
Yeah, this is true. So and his YouTube channel is Court the Pianist. We joked a while ago. He's like, yeah, you could have your own YouTube channel, Court the Pianist's model. And then I could have guest appearances occasionally. I said, yeah, you could.